In the search for a recovery, they looked for a leader who appeared different, while professing ideas that were entirely the same. They selected Kemi Olufonto Adegoke Badenoch. On the surface, she represents a departure for the party, a black woman of Nigerian heritage, married to a British banker, raising mixed-race children in these islands. Her biography is a study in upward mobility. She arrived in Britain with 100 pounds, worked at McDonald's, studied for her A-levels, and climbed the political ladder through talent and industry. Her rise to leader of the opposition serves as evidence that Britain's stated ideals of meritocracy and equal opportunity are actually functional. Shortly after taking the lead, Badenoch announced her intention to repeal the public sector equality duty in its entirety. This legal framework, part of the 2010 Equality Act, requires public institutions to consider how their decisions impact groups with protected characteristics, like race, sex, and disability. The strategy creates a logic puzzle. The person who most clearly embodies the success of equality laws has made the dismantling of those laws her opening sacrifice. The public sector equality duty mandates consistent behavior from state institutions, requiring the state to treat diverse demographics with the same objective standard. From 2022 to 2024, Badenoch was tasked with guarding this system. As Minister for Equalities, she was its primary statutory defender. In that office, she appointed commissioners to the Equality and Human Rights Commission and promoted the very legal protections she now describes as a minefield. She is now seeking to govern a different audience, and she is bringing the blueprints for the demolition of her former department as her credential.
Faster, more urgent tone. This shift coincides with the rise of Reform UK. Nigel Farage has spent years arguing that the interests of the white majority are being subordinated to the sensitivities of minorities. Farage's platform relies heavily on American ideological imports. Terms like DEI and two-tier justice have been lifted directly from the United States political laboratory. He uses high-profile crimes to claim the majority has become a persecuted class, a narrative that relies on a specific set of omitted facts. The data shows Farage's highlighted perpetrators are often British citizens, born and schooled here. Immigration reform cannot reach them. Furthermore, the majority of violent crime in the UK is committed by the white majority population, including European immigrants who arrived under freedom of movement. These details are archived and ignored because they complicate the story of an alien invasion. Badenoch has now adopted Farage's script. She describes the same equality laws she once administered as dangerous, divisive, and an obstacle to significant public decisions. She uses the term common sense to frame the removal of these protections as a simple, unexamined necessity. By echoing Farage's conclusions, she is attempting to win over a voter base that sees her very presence in Britain as a complication of the national story. There is a structural weakness in this calculation. Badenoch is delivering arguments to an audience that has already accepted Farage, a man who carries none of her personal contradictions. This timeline shows how America previously handled new arrivals. Excluded groups like the Irish and Italians merged into the dominant white majority. Once assimilated, they redirected their anxiety toward the next wave, adopting the role of host and viewing subsequent arrivals as invaders. Each wave eventually forgets the terms of its own admission, convincing itself it was always part of the majority. The base Badenoch is courting views her children as the detail that doesn't fit the story. They see the migrant as an existential threat, and that definition is expanding. The logic of the culture war is a sword that does not pause to thank the hand that polished it. Kemi Badenoch is now working to dismantle the scaffolding that made her own success possible, making the United Kingdom less hospitable to the next person who arrives with 100 pounds and a future.